People hear the music in films and games, but they rarely think about the person behind it. Every moment, every emotion, every quiet scene that hits harder than words. Someone made that happen.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
Today's guest is Stuart Woolley, a composer from Manchester creating music for films, games, and everything in between. This is the Epicvishin podcast. Let's get into it.
Thanks for having me. I like that intro. You picked me up like.
Yeah, you're doing incredible stuff. So
Thank you.
I want you to take me back to the very beginning. At what point did music draw you? Way before you thought, well, this is something that can turn into a career.
Yeah. So this comes in like 3 bits. One of them's cool, and the other 2 are really lame. So my family's quite funny. So American Idiot by Green Day. When I first heard that song, I don't know. I would have been like maybe 7 or 8. I just remember that song just like latching onto me. But even like at that age, obviously I didn't understand like what the song meant. I was just like, this is a loud, catchy song. It's got aggressive guitar, it's got catchy melodies. I like this, and I would just keep repeating that song and spinning it all the time.
Yeah.
And then eventually, obviously, as I got older, I delved into the whole album and really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
The second thing was I used to play games a lot as a kid, which is obviously a reason why I wanted to go into the career path of composing the games. I was a big fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, and Sonic Adventure 2 that I had on my GameCube. The soundtrack for that game really drew me in as well because it was quite guitar focused and quite heavy.
Yeah.
And I used to listen to the sound test in that game a lot
Yeah.
without even playing the game. And then when I was like, right before I started playing guitar, so let's say about 12, I watched Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and I also read the comic book at the same time. And in the film, if anyone's ever watched it, Scott Pilgrim's band are really good, but if you read the comic book, they're supposed to be terrible. And in my head, I was like, oh, I don't need to be good at music. I can just pick up an instrument and just suck, and it'll be cool.
Yeah.
So I started playing bass guitar at about 13, and then a year later, I moved on to playing guitar at 14 because I wanted to write more songs. But yeah, it never started with like I want to pursue this as a career path. It was just I just want to suck at this instrument and just have fun doing it. And I like to think that I don't suck anymore, but sometimes I do kind of still suck. But then as I started playing guitar more in my teenage years and getting more into songwriting, I was like, this is what I want to do with my life, because the only thing that I really gravitate towards. And I was playing in bands for a few years and doing that kind of thing, but I always had this thing in the back of my mind that was like, I would love to compose for like films and games because I've always loved game soundtracks. I've always loved film soundtracks. But I always had this thing where I was like, I don't know how to do that because I can only write dumb songs with chords and heavy songs.
What you mean, dark songs?
Oh, just I was like, because obviously I'm not very good. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna play dumb power chords.
Right.
Simple. Like I don't know how you even begin to think about like an orchestra or anything old, like that would like match a screen. And like when I was about God, I'm forgetting my ages now. When I was like 21, I went to Spirit Studios University here in Manchester with the idea to sort of use that to go into doing music for films and games. But I wanted to get like the mixing skills to do it.
Yeah.
And then one of my tutors said to me that the mixing quality on game soundtracks isn't very good. And I was like, oh, okay. So at least that's that thing before about not being very good. I was like, it doesn't matter if like the mix quality is terrible. I'm just gonna do it and put stuff out and try to make connections. And then I just started trying to reach out to people. Like I reached out to Prickle Productions, and we ended up working on Snare. I've reached out to many like indie game developers, fan game developers, and just been like, I want to do music for you. If you've got anything going on, I'll try and put something together for you.
Yeah. When did you realize that music could tell stories? And it's not something that just sounds good.
Yeah, I want to say when I was probably like about a teenager. So when I first was like really getting into guitar, and I was trying to like get into songwriting, I was actually listening to songs more than just, oh, this sounds cool. I was like, oh, I'm really interested in like the emotions of the music.
The emotions, yeah.
To me, that goes beyond like lyrics, because I mean, obviously lyrics are important if you talk about songs in particular.
Yeah.
But like obviously, growing up, I was really into game and film music, and that's got no lyrics, and a lot of the emotions are conveyed just through the instrumentation. So I've always like really tried to list, like even in a song, I've always gravitated more towards the instruments and like how they sound and how they make me feel. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to music, we all gravitate towards it because it makes us feel something.
Yeah.
I mean, extending even far beyond that, just art in general. The reason why we gravitate towards art is because it makes you feel
Makes you
something.
feel some emotion. Yeah. So in 2023, you started producing music professionally, or you started composing professionally, should I say? What changed then? What was the switch?
Well, so coming out of when I was at uni, I was like, right, I want to go into this composing for films and games, but I'm not really sure how to do this. So I just started putting stuff out on YouTube every so often. Like I still upload like weekly to YouTube, just anything I've worked on for like a film or a game or just anything that I've just done for myself.
Yeah.
And I was just doing that for a few months, and I ended up stumbling onto a Sonic fan project where some guy was like putting together like a fan game, and the guy needed music.
Okay.
And like this had just gone live on the internet, and I saw this, and I quickly looked at the game, found the email address, and went to sleep. And the following morning, I put together like a little pitch, like 2 minutes worth of music, and messaged him and said, "You're looking for music. I've just put this together for you. Let me know what you think. I'd love to work with you." Someone called Michael, who I'm still quite tight with now. And he got back to me, and then we started working on doing music for this game, and that's changed now into like an indie game where it's not Sonic related at all.
Yeah.
But once I got in with him, I was like, oh, I can just do this, and now I'm just gonna keep working on music and creating pictures and trying to just find anyone who wants music. It eventually led me to working with Tom at
Yeah.
Prickle, because I was just on Instagram looking for companies to contact, and I found his company. I was like, just drop him an email.
All right.
And then,
well, yeah.
and then like
that's cool.
a few days later, he was like, "Oh, do you want to do music for this?" And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And that's how Snare came about.
That's
At least that's how I jumped onto Snare.
So tell me about Snare, the Snare project. What was it like working on that project?
That was really fun because that was the second film that I'd composed for, so I was still kind of fairly new to it.
Yeah.
And also because it was horror, it was something that's like out of my comfort zone, because I always like to pursue something new that's not what I did last time and not something that I'm comfortable with, because like I can just lean on guitar music all day long because it's what I'm comfortable doing. But when it's like a horror soundtrack and it's meant to be a bit minimal and it's meant to make you feel uncomfortable, I was like, okay, I want to do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we talked, and the idea was just to create music that was just to make you feel a little bit uncomfortable and a bit uneasy. And obviously I tried to go into it with that mindset, but as we spoke about off camera, a lot of the time these things just happen.
Yeah.
Like I just sort of like sat at the piano and I just like playing a few things, and I was like, oh, this sounds really cool, and just like developing it. And then we went back and forth on a few things, and it was a really easy project to work on because we communicated about it. The vibe was cool. I was really invested in like story and just all of it. So it kind of just, it made it easy for it to sort of flow out of me.
Yeah, that's good. Can we talk about Wind Weaver? I know it's not out yet, but you did the sound design on that as well, the soundtrack on that. So what was that like?
Yeah, so the Wind Weaver demo soundtrack is actually on Spotify right now. If anyone wants to listen to it, maybe will give me a couple of streams.
Yeah.
So that was another project that initially started off as a Sonic fan game, where the team were putting this game together, and they decided they wanted to switch it up to be like, it's basically just a momentum-based platformer where you play as, oh, they're really going to slate me for this because I'm going to get some of this information wrong, where you play as a bird. I think you could run quick. I'm sorry, guys, if I got that wrong. So I was approached quite early on. Do you want to do music for this project? And what was fun about that is that was a game project where it was just me on it. So I got the chance to like actually experiment with like what I wanted to do for it. And because at least in the demo, the area is like a forest, but it's like purple and pink, so it's really cool visually.
Right.
And I was like, it gave me a chance to think about what kind of instruments I wanted to use, and I was thinking about birds and flutes and acoustic instruments. So I got a chance to sort of marry like rock kind of music with like flutes.
Right.
And what's really fun about that game as well is just it's the first time I played around with like leitmotifs and stuff. So one theme or melody that plays throughout the soundtrack. So if you play the game or listen to the soundtrack, there's a few melodies that exist through a lot of the songs. In fact, a few of the songs, there's three of them actually. The main theme, the menu, and the world map are all just the same song.
Okay.
They're just using different instrumentation. The main theme is like a rock song with like vocals, and then the menu theme is like a more funk version of that, and then the world map theme is like a chill piano acoustic version of that, and it's all the melodies are the same, all the chords are the same,
Yeah.
and it was like a fun way to create like a cohesive soundtrack where the elements, the melodies, just like subtly given to the player.
Yeah. So, what's the difference between working on a film project and working on a game?
Yeah, so I really enjoy working on both because there's very different elements. So like with film, it's there and it's like this is the picture. Here's how much slotted time you've got to put this together, and you can sort of use the music to sort of enhance the visual or respond to the visuals in that sense.
Yeah.
With games, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
A lot of this, simply, it's most of the time. Sometimes it's just making music that loops seamlessly. But making sure that like if you stand there for 5 minutes, you're not gonna hear like a click when the song starts again. But one thing with Wind Weaver as well is the music is adaptive. So if you're because obviously it's like a speed game where you have to run quick. When you're running quick, all of the instruments are there, bass, the drums, the guitars, all of the instruments are there while you're good at the game. But if you slow down or stop, the tempo will slow down by 10 BPM, and all of the instruments apart from the acoustic guitars and a few of the flutes will stay in.
Okay.
So the music responds to how you play the game. So if you're better at it,
That's really cool.
you'll hear everything. If you stop or you suck at it, you won't hear. You won't, like me, because I play this game and I'm terrified. You won't hear everything properly. So it kind of like incentivizes you to play good if you want to listen to the music. But that's always like a big challenge. So it's like, how do I design this to first off seamlessly loop, but then also cohesively work regardless of whether you slow down or speed up?
Sounds like the game music is more challenging than the film then, isn't it?
Well,
There's got more things to think about.
Yeah, there's different challenges with both, and they're really good challenges.
Yeah.
But again, because sometimes the hardest part with film is trying to make sure that what you're composing is actually enhancing the visual and not distracting from everything.
Yeah.
Whereas in a game, it's kind of easier to sort of like make that part of the world.
Right. So on the back of that, what does a composer get working on a project like, say, a film or a game, right? You get visuals, you get just gameplay, you get a script. What do you get to go off trying to create a sound for the project you're working on?
So with Snare, well, even with Snare in particular, but also all the films that I've worked on, I get like cuts, like works in progress, and so it's like here's like the rough draft we've got, and I'll sort of like wait for them to give me like a final picture lock before I start actually composing, because if I compose like 2 minutes worth of music to a picture that's going to be edited, then I end up having to go back and redoing work, and sometimes that I've made that mistake before, so I don't make that anymore. So with films, generally I'll get cuts, but depending on how early into the process I'm brought on, sometimes I will get sent scripts, and I can sort of use that to sort of begin to put ideas together on any project. To be fair, when I come on, before I even start working on anything, what I do is I create like 30 seconds to a minute worth of music, and be like, and whoever I'm communicating with, here's the kind of vibe I'm getting off of this. Let me know what you think, and let's sort of meld this to be what you want. With games, games are a much different ballpark, because it's either you either get footage where there's no graphics,
right,
or nothing. So, or you get like screenshots. But generally, a lot of the times when I've worked on game projects, there's very little to go off aside from here's a screenshot, or here's a level where we've laid out the design, but there's no graphics. It's just grey floors. It's just a grey empty void.
That's difficult.
So I'm like, I have to sort of use my imagination a little bit more, and I'll try and pull out of the developers, what kind of vibe they want and what they're thinking visually. I'll just sort of have to use my imagination and then go from there with it. but that's always a fun challenge because sometimes when you're given everything in front of you, it's a little bit harder for me sometimes to think, oh, I'm going to do this. If I've got less to go on, it's easier for me to actually sort of figure out what I'm going to do.
Are you given a lot of creative control over that sort of thing?
Yeah, kind of, but with these sorts of projects, I'm more just what you want is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to present to you what I think you want. But then it's like at the end of the day, it's a collaborative process, and I like that. So
what'll it be, master?
sometimes there is a bit of a back and forth where I'm like, here's a thing, and they're like, I don't like this, do this, okay, change this, and it takes like a little bit of time for it to sort of like get to the end point. But that's always like a fun challenge. I don't mind. Like, I've got no interest in being like, I have to have it this way. It's like at the end of the day, we're collaborating, so we're gonna vibe off each other.
And do you find that people understand that, like clients you work for, do they sort of understand that it's a collaborative process, or have you met clients that are a bit stubborn, like I have to have it this way, and
Yeah, sometimes, but I don't mind. Again, I don't mind it. Because at the end of the day, it sort of pushes me to be a bit better. It pushes me to not be protective of my ideas.
Right.
Which, like at this point in my career, I'm not protective over my ideas at all. If I present something and you don't like it, we'll pivot and we'll do something else. Even if it is sometimes a little bit crushing where I'm like, hey, check this thing out, and they're
so
like,
great, and they go like,
I
don't like
sucks, man. I'm like, well, whatever. Ugh. Sometimes I do question myself when that happens. I'm like, oh, what have I done? What do I do?
Yeah. So let's talk about your journey as a freelancer, right? What's the hardest part of choosing to do this?
Money.
Raw honesty, I love it.
It'd be really great if I could get paid now in cash.
And yeah, it's money, and sometimes it's a lot of questioning what I'm actually doing with myself.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's like oh, maybe I should just choose like something a bit easier. Well, like I've always said this to people, and I'm going to sound like a massive drama queen when I say this now, but with me, it's not like a thing where like I want to do music as a career. It's like I have to do it because there's nothing in my brain, annoyingly, that will turn that off.
Yeah.
Like I would I'll wherever I am, I'll have stuff like going in the back of my head, and I'm like, I've got to go and do this.
Yeah.
But like a challenge with it as well is it's just finding people to work with. Very hard, both film and game industries, or even just like because even even when you try and reach out outside of those fields, it is quite hard to make connections.
Right.
Lot of emails that don't get responded to, but it's just the nature of things. There's a lot of music composers in the film and the game industry, so trying to like break through all the noise and get to people is a challenge that I'm still working through. But at the end of the day, it's what I love doing. So I'm happy to send 100 emails that don't get responded to because eventually someone will respond.
All you need is that one yes.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not even like I always say this to people. It's not even really a drive. It's more just stupidity. Because I'm just beating my head against the wall, and I'm like, this is fine. My head hurts, but let's just keep going. I don't know what else to do.
Well, somebody said you have to have a healthy amount of delusion to be an artist.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah,
that's very true.
So have you ever questioned whether it's sustainable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. But like I said before, there's nothing I'd rather do. There's no desire to do anything else.
Yeah. That's good. Well, how important is community in what you do, as opposed to making it on your own?
So here's the deep question where I'm like, oh, how do I respond to this? Community. I mean, from what my dumb brain can put together at this moment, I think just everyone supporting each other and just, building each other up and, working on stuff together and being nice to each other and supporting each other. Yeah. It's what we need more, not even in creative industries, just in life.
Like, yeah.
Everyone needs to be supportive and kind of each other, and especially nowadays with like how the world is. I know I've not really got a deep response to this.
No, it's a perfect response. I think it's a perfect response because I'll agree with you on that. That the world definitely needs more kindness, more empathy, and more collaborativeness because that's the best way that we can grow.
Yeah.
And nobody knows it all. There's that cliche saying that no man is an island,
Yeah.
and that is it. And sometimes you're just 2 or 3 people away from that connection that you want, and
Yeah.
you might think, oh, I don't need this person right here, but it's through him or her you're going to get to that place that you want to go. And sometimes I feel like some of my brightest ideas come from personally. Some of my brightest ideas come from just bouncing ideas off people.
Yeah.
So when I have these conversations, I just relate so much, and I know everybody watching out there, every creative watching you, can relate to what you're saying. So
Yeah.
it's just refreshing to have these conversations. And also, not every creative has the opportunity to go to network,
Yeah.
go to places like, so this becomes then a vehicle for people to get access to these kind of spaces.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I like that. Yeah. It's also nice to know that when you're there beating your head against the wall thinking, what am I doing? It's nice to know that everyone else is like having that same battle as well. It's like, okay, well, at least we're all being morons, banging our head against the wall. It's not just me and everyone's looking at him like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah. If somebody wanted to compose for games and films, what would you tell them to do this month?
Just do it. I know it's like the most cliche thing ever, but the only reason I've ever done anything is because I just decided to do it. Like the fear of rejection with like, oh, maybe I won't be good enough, maybe people will reject me. Those things happen, but I just still do it anyway because again I'm beating my head against that wall. The only way that you're going to end up doing these kind of things is to just do it.
Yeah.
You like, it's easy to be like, oh well, I need to do this or I need to do this. I need to get this skill, which is what I tackled.
Yeah.
What I was dealing with for a very long time.
Yeah.
But you just gotta just go, I'm just gonna do this now. And then once you start doing it, just keep doing it and try your best to just put yourself out there, contact people, keep working on what you're doing, and always try and push yourself into different areas. Because that's the only, well, at least to me, that's the one way that I grow as an artist.
This is the quick fire round, so I'm going to fire some questions at you.
Oh no!
That just you don't need to overthink them. Just give me whatever comes to mind. So, favorite soundtrack?
Oh, to what, a film or a game?
Any? Yeah.
Sonic Frontiers.
All right. What film or game do you wish you scored?
Ooh, Her by Spike Jonze. That is my favorite film ever. Love the soundtrack. I would love to do something like that. Or I wish I was born earlier and was more successful to do that.
Brilliant. One plugin you can't live without.
One what?
One plugin.
Plugin. Ooh, it'll be one of the Neural DSP archetype plugins because I rely on them so heavily for guitars now.
Yeah.
I just instrument interface into those plugins straight up.
Yeah. Cool. Music whilst working, yes or no?
Sometimes. It entirely depends on what I'm doing.
Does it distract you?
If I'm doing something where I really need to focus, then yeah, it does distract me. But again, it entirely depends what I put on. If I'm putting on heavy music with loads of screaming, yeah. But if I'm doing something like that I really need to focus on, I'll just put on some piano stuff or some ambient like post rock.
All right, that's cool. So now I want to ask you, what keeps you doing this, even in the face of all the uncertainties?
Stupidity. Not knowing when to quit.
Yeah.
Basically. But also just my love for just playing and creating music. I like to just create things. I love collaborating with people. I love playing guitar.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna go straight home, go back to playing guitar after this.
Oh, that's brilliant. This is exactly why the Epicvishin podcast exists, to highlight powerful conversations and powerful creatives like this. If this episode resonated with you, give us a like, click the subscribe, and follow for more. Thank you, Stuart, for coming here and doing this with us.
This is loads of fun.
It was loads of fun. Thank you so much. And I'll see you again.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers.